Okay, Brew, are you okay with how the Browns have handled Shedeur in this preseason?
Well, I think he should have finished the game. The 2-minute drill that they put Tyler Huntley in. I think he should have got more first, second team reps in the preseason training camp. But there's bad news and there's good news for Shedeur. The bad news is that the owner, I believe, despite what the owner said, Jim Haslam, I believe he drafted Shedeur.
Yeah.
All right. It doesn't make sense for the Browns to draft 2 quarterbacks that they realize both of them are projects, right? Draft 2 quarterbacks. Now they got to keep 4. All right. So I don't think Stefanski and Andrew Berry, the GM, and I don't think they really like having Shedeur around. I'm not saying they don't like him as a person, but I think they feel maybe a I'm just reading what I'm seeing.
What you're saying
I feel like there's a little resentment there because it's like now we got to develop this guy to some degree, and it becomes a circus because of who he is and his last name. So I think that's the bad news for Micah. I'm seeing for Shedeur. The good news for Shedeur is that the owner drafted you because the owner is like, I want to see what this guy can do. All right. And we know they're going to start Joe Flacco. They're going to lose a lot of games early. And then they'll probably go to Dylan Gabriel first, I guess, right? He'll go first. And unless he's electric, then they're going to eventually go to Shedeur Sanders. And he's going to get a shot. Again,
Pickett's
I don't like the way they've dealt with him. But, well, Pickett, I think.
But he's still on the team.
Yeah, he is for now. I think they may move off him for a draft pick, late draft pick or whatever. But as much as I think maybe they've mishandled Shedeur, the fact of the matter is this, and you guys know I like him. I thought he should have went in the first round. When you play like he did in the second preseason game, it's hard to defend him. And people are going to say he's out there with the third stringers.
No.
He didn't have a chance. He's as a 5th-round pick. And look, no other team drafted him. If the Browns had not drafted him, it's very possible he doesn't even get drafted. And so that's the situation he's in. Every time he goes out there, fair or not, he has got to deliver.
Correct.
And he obviously looked bad Saturday night, so that doesn't help him at all.
All right, listen, I said from the beginning, I thought the Tyler Huntley signing, except for when everyone was injured except for Shedeur, I thought the Tyler Huntley signing made no sense.
Right.
Like, it was just like, hey, we don't want Shedeur to play 80 snaps in the preseason game. That's fine. So I thought that was odd and unnecessary. But there's been a lot of nonsense said about the league as a whole. Having, you know what I mean? They sent the code red to not draft him, and now that Kevin Stefanski is actively calling the bad plays for Shedeur, which I think is an opinion held by dumb people. So here are the things I believe to be true. I wrote them down in a list like Brew does sometimes. Number 1, there was not a league-wide anti-Shedeur conspiracy. I think that's ridiculous. Number 2, I do think he has more talent than Dylan Gabriel. But I don't think for the job they're trying to win, which is backup quarterback, raw talent is the deciding factor. I think readiness is, and it does appear right now Gabriel is more ready. Even though he practiced poorly, he played better in the preseason than Shedeur did. Number 3, I don't think Stefanski ever wanted him. I do think that, and I do think there is an element of I knew I was going to spend a certain amount of energy this offseason developing a young quarterback. I thought it was going to be Dylan Gabriel. Now I have way more attention, and I have to split the time and all this because my boss made me do it, which I think has led to Gabriel maybe even when Shedeur is practicing better, Gabriel stays ahead of him on the depth chart. Number 4, his biggest fans are delusional and hurting him. I think that Kevin Stefanski having to answer that question in the press conference hurt Shedeur, and it's not his fault. Number 5, there's not a team in the league right now he'd start for. Brent.
Obviously. Oh my God, I'm going insane right now. I'm going insane. It's an absolute disgrace that they would even remotely say that Stefanski is trying to sabotage a quarterback here. The fact that they even remotely brought that up, the fact that the media has the audacity to even treat that as even remotely a story is insane to me. It's absolutely insane to me and infuriating. It's a disgrace. It's an absolute disgrace. It's ridiculous. It really is ridiculous. And that's why I was actually getting really annoyed by even Bruce take here, because he's like, I think Stefanski kind of mismanaged what he was doing with Shedeur, and he should have gotten more. Shedeur is not good enough. He is not good enough. Stefanski doesn't owe anyone anything. He's putting him out there. He's having him run the practices. He's putting him in preseason, and he's not performing well enough. He cannot play on time at all. That is what we saw in that preseason game. Okay, Dan Orlovsky did a beautiful job. Look it up on social media. He broke it down in like a 2-minute clip that I was going to make his own clip, but I just not even going to do it. Okay, he was reading the defenses wrong. He was not playing on time. He was holding on to the ball. That was on Shedeur Sanders, not the O-line, not the coaching staff, none. And then they're saying, oh, why didn't he finish the 2-minute warning? Because he was not good enough. And you know what? Stefanski is trying to evaluate the whole roster, not just Shedeur Sanders. So he needs to see, what can we do in a 2-minute drill right now beyond just the quarterback? Because I don't know if you know this, there's other players on the field during a 2-minute drill that Stefanski wants to see. Whether it's linemen, receivers, running backs, whatever it may be. And so he put an actual veteran receiver out there who was then able to immediately lead them down. Something that Shedeur Sanders on that day looked like he completely lacked the ability to do so. People want to say, oh, it was the O-line. The O-line was so bad. Oh, the offensive linemen, they were cut. This was on Shedeur Sanders. This was 100% on Shedeur Sanders. Accept it. Accept it. It's okay. It's the reality of the situation. And you could see Dillon Gabriel play on time. It's hike, throw, hike, throw, hike, throw, hike, throw. Shedeur Sanders, not so much. And offensive coaches, that is what offensive coaches want. That is what coaches want. They want you to run the play as advertised. They don't want nonstop just, hey, let's just see what happens here. That's not what they want. John Middlecoff had a great rant about that, but it was specifically about Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson. And he is 100% accurate here. This is what I always talk about. A coach wants you to be able to execute their offense. That's how this works. That's how this works. Whether you're Tom Brady or Patrick Mahomes, whether you're Lamar Jackson or Jalen Hurts, freestyle only gets you so far in the NFL, and quite frankly, for 99.999999999% of quarterbacks, it doesn't get you anywhere. It doesn't get you anywhere. You need to be able to execute and run the offense as needed by what the coach wants. That's how the NFL works. That's why they watch such an insane amount of film. That's why you see them all have their headphones on, their mics, they're all talking, they're looking at film, they're looking at screenshots, they have a whole playbook. That's there for a reason. That's all there for a reason. That's why practices are so in depth. That's why you have a million position coaches. Each position gets broken down in its own little microcosm. That's why they watch film nonstop, endlessly. Because all of this matters. It's not just backyard ball. It does not exist in the NFL. It does not exist. Even scramble drills, even those types of things, even those are still within timing and chemistry. It's not just, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes are just kind of trying to run around for some time and, just see who can get open. Even that is not necessarily accurate. But even so, the vast majority of the offense, even for the Lamar Jacksons, even for the Mahomes, the Josh Allens, whatever, you have to be able to play on time and rhythm. You have to be able to make the right reads. And that is not something that Shedeur Sanders is doing right now. And to be clear, and I love how Dan Orlovsky, but he's like, this is not the end. Shedeur Sanders, these are all mistakes that Shedeur made. It doesn't mean that he's a bad quarterback. It doesn't mean that he can't grow and evolve and become a starter one day. And I agree with that take. But it's a disgrace that we're trying to pretend that Shedeur Sanders is this amazing otherworldly quarterback and everyone is just trying to get him to fail. That's the insanity of this all. That's the insanity. And then this is why I say I don't care about the stats or even the outcome. Dillon Gabriel's game where he had a fumble and interception was infinitely better than whatever the heck we saw with Shedeur do here. And even in Shedeur's first game that he played, pretty well. It was still not on time and in rhythm with the offense and, essentially what Stefanski would want. And so again, It looks good in a preseason game and you can get by in it. It's not going to get by in the NFL. As his own teammate told him, Myles Garrett was like, you're not going to be able to get away with that, with a bunch of starters. Not going to happen. And the fans in the crowd are so delusional that when Shedeur is actually running the offense poorly, missing reads, missing throws, holding on to the ball, he kind of starts scrambling. The crowd starts to get excited. They're like, oh, this is Shedeur. He's doing magic. He's doing magic. And they're literally cheering on a quarterback for running the offense poorly. It's insanity. It's actual insanity. They think it's Steph Curry pulling up for a logo 3 when everyone's like, you can hear the crowd, especially at Oracle where everyone's like, oh man. And you get that excitement of, dude, he's about to, go deep. But what it really is Steph Curry with 20 seconds left on the shot clock left, 3 minutes into the game of the first quarter, pulling up from the other side, from the other free throw line, and you're just like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Why did you just shoot that? You could have gotten significantly close. Like, what? There wasn't 1 second left in the game. Like, what are you doing? There's so much confusion here. And the fact that they're going to ask the head coach, Stefanski, are you sabotaging Sanders? That's the delusion. That is a disgrace. And it needs to be called out so. It is a disgrace. It is a disgrace. And it's just so infuriating. So infuriating. You're like, well, I think he should have been able to play the 2-minute warning. No, he was awful. And Stefanski wants to see the rest of the team and see how they do. So he needed a quarterback that he had more confidence in that would be able to run that so we could see how the rest of the team handles that situation, not just the quarterback. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about Shedeur Sanders? Are you okay with how they handled Shedeur? Oh, gosh. Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.